Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a mock 2019 NFL draft. So as you know, the 2019 draft is actually today, tonight, whatever. So here is my mock draft. So of course the Arizona Cardinals were up first. You know, they finished 3-11 last year, or 3-13 last year. Of course, drafted Josh Rosen, number 10 overall. They moved up with the Oakland Raiders, I think it was, and there's plenty of. It's a defensive heavy draft this year, but there is another can't miss quarterback that they might go and take. So, without further ado, here's my 2019 NFL draft predictions. So, the first pick of the 2019 NFL draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray, quarterback, University of Oklahoma. Of course, this is probably I think many analysts, over in America, like Mel Kiper, even on the Fox Sports, I saw Bucky Brooks, likes them, they all have Kyler Murray go number one, of course. So University of Oklahoma quarterback, won the Heisman, of course, second year in a row for an Oklahoma quarterback to win it. I suppose it's not really showing how bad Josh Rosen was, because in fairness, that Arizona Cardinals team last year was brutal. The offensive line was very non-existent. He was sacked 3 or 4 times a game. Some games last year, Rosen, and I think it wasn't his fault. I think Christian Kirk last year did have a really decent rookie year as a wide receiver, but I think Larry Fitzgerald as well. I think he's a legend, NFL legend. He's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That defense as well needs, especially that they've Chandler Jones, the pass rusher. I think they could easily, if they wanted to, get Bosa to pair up with Chandler Jones, as of course Patrick Peterson as well in the defensive back, cornerback position. He's a veteran, I suppose, and he kind of deserves a lot better, to be honest. So I suppose as well you have to take into account Cliff Kingsbury. Of course, was Texas Tech last year. I know he got fired, but I think he had great kind of an air raid offense that does suit the Kyler Murray kind of a player. Of course, he's coached the likes of Johnny Manziel, of course Patrick Mahomes last year, or in Texas Tech, and that really is going to be what the Arizona Cardinals, I think, are going to need. Of course, they're not going to be instant Super Bowl contenders because of Kyler Murray, but I think his movement outside the pocket is probably far better than Rosen. I think the only thing that's pulling them back is what can they get from Rosen. They're looking for a first or maybe an early second, but it's looking very, very unlikely at this stage, because it's up to draft day. If teams know you're not going to be selecting a player, and there's a player in the same position, they know they have all the power, because they don't need, or Arizona are powerless, because they're like, okay, we want to get rid of him, and say if the best they can get from is third rounder, they're going to have to accept it if they want to get rid of him, essentially. So I think Kyler Murray is going to go number 1 overall. I'm not sure yet about Rosen. I think what they're going to do is they're going to hold out for a while, maybe close to the start of voluntary or mandatory training camp. I think they might try and search up a deal with someone. I think a lot of the teams with veteran quarterbacks might. I think there's rumours there. I think I heard the Chargers and the Patriots were looking at him, maybe for a third rounder. that's probably what they're going to get from him. So keep an eye on that. So at number 2 then, okay, after an awful year again, the Arizona or the San Francisco 49ers are second on the clock. Of course, I think all along that's what they're going to do. They've been drafting a lot of our defensive players heavy in the first round the last couple of years. I think Solomon Thomas, example, of course, Mike McGlinchey last year. I know he's an offensive lineman, but yeah, them kind of players, I'm kind of either of getting after the quarterback or protecting the quarterback is what they've been drafting in the last couple of years. I think Nick Bosa out of Ohio State is going to be their pick. I think that's the most ideal pick for them, anyways, because I think him beside the likes of Solomon Thomas, even yeah. So Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa, I think are going to be in my opinion, anyways. Nick Bosa is the best player in the draft. I know people, but oh no, it's Kyler Murray. Oh no, it's Quinn Williams, or it's Josh Allen out of Kentucky. So yeah, so I think that's what they're going to do. I think he's too good of a prospect not to pick at that position, and I think for the 49ers, they're trying to build a defensive heavy team, maybe get something out of Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it's a big year for him. I know he got injured last year, but he needs to step up this year again, because a lot of expected last year and of the 49ers after his brilliant start. So I think it has to be Nick Bosa at number 2. So next up on the board, this is going to be a really interesting pick. It's the New York Jets at number 3. Of course, last year they got their quarterback Sam Darnold out of USC, and obviously they're not going to go quarterback again. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try to trade down this pick, because they might try and get a couple of weapons for him. So I'm going to go that they pick Quinn Williams, the edge rusher out of Alabama. I think many people have him as the best prospect in the draft. That's why I think Bosa would be great alongside that Jets defense, which is slowly but surely improving. They've added great in free agency. I think they've so yeah, I think that's what we're going to do with number 3. Although don't be surprised if they trade down maybe for next year, first rounder this year, maybe another one next year. There's plenty of teams that might try and move up and have the capital to do that, draft capital. So my provision pick is going to be the New York Jets selecting Quinn Williams out of Alabama. So fourth pick of the draft. This is a really tough one now, because of course it's the Oakland Raiders. John Gruden, what's he going to do? He has the most number of picks this year. He's 3 first round picks, and a first round pick next year. Of course, got a first rounder for Amari Cooper, and of course the 2 then for Khalil Mack last year. Of course, as well as their own pick. I think there's a lot of speculation. He's said in a lot of interviews that Gruden has loved Kyler Murray, but I don't think he's going to be there at number 4. Haskins is a great maybe, but I don't think they're going to be able to. I don't think it's worth the while putting the 4th pick on someone with the likes of a quarterback, because it's Kyler Murray really, or a lot of the other quarterbacks are probably players that are going to need development. So I'm going to go Josh Allen out of Kentucky. I think he's the most sought after, I suppose, pick in the lower colleges last year. Of course, he won loads of awards last year. Best defensive lineman, defensive end, all them awards last year. He was best defensive player in football last year, probably, for most people. So yeah, I think he's too good of a pick to not draft at number 4. unless obviously the Raiders may trade up with Cardinals, that maybe if the Cardinals don't pick Kyler, that's what they might do. They might the Raiders might budge on a pick or maybe two at least. Anyways, I would assume for that number one pick, but you'd have to think they'd have to try and get a replacement for Khalil Mack because his production, has was definitely missed last year. I think the Raiders were the least the team with the least number of sacks last year, and there's no way they can get away another year without a generational pass rusher defensive end style. So I think it has to be Khalil Mack's replacement and draft Josh Allen out of Kentucky. So they are my first four picks. I'll be doing more in a while. So if you have any other questions, maybe trade suggestions, or maybe disagree on any of these first four picks, put them in the comment section, and I will sure to get back to you. Okay, bye.